Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, 9 a.m. Here for consent agenda review and work session.
So, not on consent, but for the work session. And Rob, I don't know if you've seen it. Rebecca sent me an email about the cost of security just a few minutes ago. I just sent it to the three of you probably 15 minutes ago. I don't know if you want to take a quick gander at that. And my feeling is that there seems to be some confusion. I think we need to get the contract and the security policy and the event policy all together in a room with the three of you and civil and make sure it all matches, but let the fairgrounds make the call on this one. But that's my 2 cents. So if they waive or not waive, it's up to them.
Well,
The second email.
I'm sorry?
$110 per hour. How many people are gonna be there? A couple hundred?
Yeah, you know, Becca should be on.
Becca's not on.
Yeah, I know, I'm gonna text her.
I mean, obviously, you could say, oh, there's gonna be 500 people there, but there's not. I've been 8 times, 9 times. Usually I get kind of bored.
So is it an in and out or is it they sit and stay?
You
What-
got
I
some
don't know.
exhibitors, people come walk through and leave.
What is it?
It's a business expo.
Okay.
It's small. I don't think it's that busy myself.
No, like you say, I think most people are just, they walk through.
They say hi to everybody and they leave.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
So is it like a job fair?
Yeah, kind of, but no. You just display your business,
Okay.
have some discounts. It's mixed with business after hours, but business after hours is usually about, I don't know, 35 people. A big one, you might get like 90.
Is Rebecca on?
I don't know if she's on
No,
yet.
she's not.
Did she send you the cost for them?
Well, she said it was, but I'm surprised 2970, 2,970.
so 301 and 400 is 4 guards at
That's
2.
I'm seeing that, I just didn't see the numbers.
970 plus taxes will come
Do
significantly.
they not have like just one? Okay, so what policy are you looking at, Tom, that,
I thought I sent you a copy
okay,
of
she
it.
didn't send a policy, but then it's in the contract.
Yeah, I know. I don't have
Contract,
the only thing I don't have is a copy of the contract. So under their policy, the whole thing she's citing is in paragraph 17, which she sent in that one email I forwarded to you. And then I asked her to send me the security policy, and so she sent me that. And so I forwarded that to you guys yesterday and
Okay.
said, okay, now that we have all the documents. But, well, I shouldn't have said all the documents because I don't have a contract, so.
And a copy of the facility use agreement.
I've got, so that's one of the documents I forwarded yesterday, that and their security, but I don't have a copy of the contract that was signed.
But in the contract, I believe it said they had to provide security. I guess we just pick and choose what we're gonna do.
I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, what do they hold others to?
Why is it $2,900 too?
That's what I'm wondering, if they could just do one.
Email her. Can you see if she's on Teams? Sorry. I guess I can do that too. I've got Teams right here.
I already got her up.
Okay.
Already got her.
We got a tight day today.
When are we having that meeting?
When do you want to have that
We
meeting?
need to have it. Like,
You want to do it late this afternoon?
yeah, like
After
sooner.
after the bureau meeting, maybe?
Yeah, the sooner the better.
Okay. I'll email Jeremy. I'll do it right now. I'll see if he can meet. So I've got 9:30, Phil Coates asked me to be here for their meeting. 10 o'clock, I'm in an online course. 1 o'clock, I'm meeting with DOJ about our corner stuff. I've already gotten a call from them.
Nice.
And then 2 o'clock with the bureau. And then right after that. I'll ask Jeremy if he can come down here. Are you going to be here?
I can be here. I just would like to get that figured out. I'm getting a lot of pressure
I'm sure you are.
for Thursday's votes.
She'll log on.
And silly me, I kind of side with, the opposite of us.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Now, by that, you mean you want us to have servers or no?
No.
Okay.
I don't want us to have servers, and I think that, they need to give it a real shot on the $3 million software that they all voted yes for.
Yeah,
I know 3 million is not much in government money, but if it was our
Sure it
own, we
is.
sure be committed to it, I would think. Don't you think, sir? But it's only taxpayer funds, not a big deal.
They voted for it.
And then they haven't given it
They're
a
responsible.
2-week shot. They've given it like 3 days
That doesn't work.
out of 2 years.
I just sent Jeremy a email. I'll see if he,
I'll get back to you.
yeah.
Round table or work session also up. I gave it to Kevin, but there's a packet of applications up there for the current use advisory board. Those are the only applications that were received. I think there's five. They're all seeking reappointment, so they have reapplied. The current use advisory board does recommend them all for reappointment. They're there for you guys to review, and then the letters of appointment would be on consent next week. And Becca is online now. I got her.
Cool.
Morning, Becca.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Who are you on?
Just, how come security is so expensive?
Well, that is the typical rate that we charge our events that are getting booked security, $55 an hour per guard. What's that per guard? Per guard per hour. As the typical timeline is, they usually are required to come an hour before the event starts and stay till the last person leaves. Which we're guesstimating would be around 9 p.m. since the chamber event closes at 7 to the public. We usually have businesses that are tearing down and cleaning up until around 9-ish.
Did they have security last year?
No, and they haven't since we started co-hosting this event. I don't know the exact year that the co-hosting started off the top of my head.
Questions from the board?
Yeah, so as a co-host, what is the money generated as co-hosting?
It's basically a trade. We do not pay membership fees and trade to co-host this event.
So the fairgrounds is a member of the chamber?
Yes.
That makes sense.
And I think our biggest hurdle right now is if we are required to get security for this event, we're only a week out, and there may be some challenges to even booking security at this juncture. because they generally require at least 2 weeks minimum to book or schedule security.
Is that Pacific Security?
Yes.
So to me, what we pay our security, this is extremely high,
This same company, that's just what they charge for events.
$55 an hour.
That's,
Plus the fairgrounds charges in order to recoup their money.
yeah, and I think they went to Pacific because they were cheaper than Phoenix and cheaper than anybody else. Is that correct? Do you recall that at all, Rebecca?
I can't speak to that. I'm not sure if Phoenix is more expensive or not.
I thought they
They
were,
are more expensive.
They're like,
are they?
Yeah, I think they're almost double.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, I guess what, it's hot on our heels because we were asked to waive something like a week or 2 weeks ago. And it was just brought to our attention that some pay the security, others don't. So I guess we as commissioners are trying to make sure that we are following policy and we are treating every organization the same. So as this is coming just literally right on the heels of a pretty large complaint, it's really hard to, say yes to one and no to another one. Because
Right.
we are government, as we're trying to treat everybody the same. So I think that's the predicament that I am in.
Right. And we understand that. I think the policy, if Tom might have provided that to you guys, in our contract number 17 that covers security is too vague. It says it's at the fairgrounds sole discretion. And as determined necessary by the fairgrounds. So that's where we're kind of in a gray area.
So Rebecca, that paragraph 17 you're talking about, that's the fairgrounds use policy. That's not the actual contract, is it?
Yeah, they do sign this.
So there isn't a third document, there's only the two.
Correct.
Okay, and there was direction given to Jim several years ago when Richard Stevens was still here, that if there was a waiver of anything in the policy, because again, we ran into the same situation.
Yeah.
That the commissioners would make the decision because
Gotcha.
we are the
Well, that-
ones fiscally responsible for making sure if we're doing something outside of our policy.
the question remains is what do we do
Mhm.
moving forward? That's the question.
How many people are you estimating? Which security number did you pick?
Just based off of last year's attendance, we're looking at 900
But that was total attendance, right?
total. And we can't determine how many were, the public attending or businesses that are there, providing a booth at the expo
Where
I
did
don't-
you get 900 from?
from Placer AI. And I took the date that it was last year and used the hours that it was open from 4 to 7 last year.
Right, but that means that there could be 100 people there at one time, and then there's 200, and then there's 150, and then there's.
Correct. That just shows visitors, total visitors. It doesn't show me out, by the hour.
Right.
Well, I would think that was a little excessive because you're not gonna have 900 at the same time.
Yeah, no.
But again, I don't know.
Yeah, I would be at the door hitting the clicker. Because I've been there the last, I don't know, 8 of them, 9 of them, and it gets a good turnout, but it's the same crowd every time. It's not 1,000 people, I can promise that. Maybe 300 at the most. But that one time.
question still remains, what are we gonna do about this event?
I don't know, I just think the number of security required is too high. That's just my opinion, but
So do we require one security guard at?
Well, I
at
don't
the
think they
event?
ever allow just one. It would be nice if we could just do one, but two. 110.
It's kind of,
So if we do 3 guards, that would be $990.
I see, and I honestly don't think, well, that's just me. 3 would be necessary. I think you could do the minimal of 2. When you've never had any before, I think 2
I
would be
think 2
suffice.
is plenty.
yeah, I would, yeah. If you're gonna have it, I think 2 is more than enough.
Well, I think people are tearing down, and I don't know if you need guards for that.
No,
Yeah, that part's odd too, because I've torn down business after hours. And a lot of times we'll close it down and then tear it down the next day. Sometimes we tear it down that night. I don't know. It's all weird.
So I'm looking,
Fairgrounds needs an event staff person that's at the events, like we've been talking about for what, 5 years?
we will have event staff at this event for the duration of the event.
Well, what I mean, Becca, is that we've been talking about having an event person, right? Like, it was supposed to be Shayla at the beginning of this with her, I think, but then Jim didn't assign that to her. So that's what I'm saying is, we've talked about it a lot where a lot of these events don't have a fairgrounds person at them, which,
or on the grounds.
yeah, they're just not even there.
Yeah.
Or maybe somebody is, but they're working a different event.
Yeah.
Like groundwork or whatever, but.
Yeah, I mean, some of these interim events, when you're looking at weddings and quinceañeras, they're lasting till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And for those ones, we do have security personnel. So, I mean, it would be more time as far as salaries paid on top of paying security to have an additional event staff there.
Yeah, I would
And-
reduce the number of security if there was an event.
Yeah.
Staff there.
Well, if you're considering just having 2 guards for the event only, then we're looking at $330.
I think that's doable, and I think it will keep us out of hot water because you're treating
Yeah.
I think that's
each
doable.
entity the
I would
same.
too.
Yeah, I would do 2 guards, Rebecca.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let me redo my math here really quick. 4 to 7, that's 3 hours. 2 guards. 6 times 55, yeah, 330.
3 to 1, divide by 3.
Was it 4 to 7
Square rooted. Cubed.
or 3 to 7? Rebecca?
That was from 4 to 7 because the
So that's
event,
3 hours, so that's $330.
yes.
Okay,
That's a lot more palatable to the,
well, and it's being
And
transparent.
then since Jim's not here, and this is a co-hosted event, does the chamber pay that in full or do they pay half?
I don't know what the contract, I think you're asking us a question.
well, when you require security and it's a co-hosted event, what have you done in the past?
Security.
So I'm thinking of Flannel Fest, and we co-host that event. We have security. I believe the fairgrounds pays 50% and Flannel Fest pays 50%.
Okay, well, I think you would stick with your.
Yeah,
if that's
go
what you've done
50-50.
previously.
Okay. And then last, what if we cannot get it booked?
I think you can. If they give you any static, give me a call and let me call them.
Okay. We will move forward with that then.
You know, and you can tell them that you were discussing it with me if you want, and that's why there was a delay, and that's why you're late in asking.
Okay. All right, I think we'll just move forward with that then, and we'll let you know if we run into any bumps in the road, and thank you for providing guidance for this.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Becca.
Bye.
Anybody have anything on the consent agenda that they have concerns with?
Oh, and here I did make a kind of random little news press about Live Nations.
Oh. I'm just sorry, I was just thinking about something to myself.
Oh, and so it does sound like Live Nations here in Quincy, they will be fine. So maybe we do need to move forward with a stakeholders meeting on what the next steps would be. So I just need to make sure.
I thought the next steps were legislative changes, because you can't do that outside of a UGA,
Well,
which is correct. Jim Anderson Cook was on that call also.
Uh-huh.
You should probably meet with him about it.
do a UGA, what the next steps are.
Well, you can't
or
do a UGA, like the state would have
urban
to
growth.
give it.
They would have to-
Until that happens,
Is it a, but they also said a planned unit, a PUD, a planned unit development, or a, because it's not, I don't think it's a,
So we probably should.
let me visit with
more
Jim.
about that.
I don't
know.
See what's allowed. Since he's.
Is there any way? If it's not a UGA, planned unit
It had to-
development,
no, I think it had to be,
has to be a UGA.
I don't know. He had said a couple things. Then the people on that call said quite a few things too, though. I think they were in the room with you, but they had said there had to be legislative changes in order
Well,
to
that
even
was
do
the
it.
attorney, that was an attorney representing George.
Yeah. But I think
Their
that's
city attorney.
right.
A Lamret, is it a Lamret out there?
I don't think so.
Well, maybe,
Lamar, Lamar.
Medicine Bar is.
maybe we should just have another, maybe is Jim's update. We had Public Works this week, so next week is Jim's update.
Yep.
So maybe next week when we
Okay,
meet
well-
with Jim, let's put that as a topic as, hey, Jim, what would it take if we were to move in that direction? And we can know internally before we do anything publicly.
Right.
That would be fantastic.
But then that would, if you're trying to do that, wouldn't that create, who would that put the liability of that cost on?
Well, if it's a utility district, it would be everybody that's in that area that's using it as a,
Yeah.
I think I have more questions than answers.
Well, I
Right
think,
now.
yeah, and I think Jim's got a lot of answers that we would need to move in any direction. So, you know, that would help us inform our decision, so.
I would agree. Then we can worry about
Yeah.
what direction we go and how we do it. Certainly don't want to go out saying we can do something that we can't do.
Let's
Is that what I
discuss
wrote?
with him next steps about the wastewater treatment plant.
Not necessarily next steps, but just a general conversation.
Are you emailing it?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Because you
Okay, I
put
won't
next
worry about
steps, it's like
it. Caitlin, you're the best.
Like we're putting.
we're
plan
going
in place.
somewhere with it, right? We're just trying to, more of a work session. An understanding.
I believe it'd be like a road district or a, well, we have lighting districts, utility districts, so we can do utility districts. And Daryl would like to do ambulance district countywide.
You'd like to do a what?
An ambulance? What do they
Oh,
call
an
it?
ambulance district.
First responder. Because some of the areas, some areas are covered, some are not. So it'd be a countywide. I always feel like it's kind of best to keep things local, you have more control.
Anything else for the consent agenda? Work session?
Let me look at my notes, just to make sure.
Pretty light this week.
I think that's it.
Going to recess until 9:30 then. 9:25.
On the freeway,
I don't wanna
I'm
wear my
sorry.
shoes.
9:30, we're
Supporting-
going in, it's 9:30,
an agency.
working for the sheriff's office update.
Getting this environmental
Okay.
impact, which they've requested.
So
Morning, gentlemen.
good morning, board. I wanted to go back and revisit, since we're getting close to opening the doors of our new facility coming up here in the end of May. Really excited about it. I know we all are. It's been a lot of tough work by Tom and everybody else and the crew and Leidig and everything else. I want to sit down and revisit the medical contract with CHP again. It's very important that I think that we revisit this. I think it's something we're going to need. Is it a want? It's a need that we're going to need up there at the new jail when it gets open. When our population really increases, we're going to need a medical provider that's able to be there 24 hours a day. Yes.
I just want to point out, I think we all are in agreement that it's need,
Mhm.
but you're gonna have to lay off employees or figure out how you're gonna get to that level. I mean,
Right.
bottom line,
Well, and I guess I'll explain it to it as this way. The county has a $31 million lawsuit that's dropped because of a death in the jail. We have two more outstanding that are probably going to come in more than that one. Again, we're going to have to come up with money to pay for that somehow. Probably not the 31 million, but whatever that's going to look like after litigation. So I guess for me it's a lot cheaper to pay for a $2.8 million insurance provider for CHP to come in and take that liability than it is for Grant County to keep taking that liability. I understand what you're saying. I do. I get it.
well, I think we're just trying to balance out where does it come from, because it's gonna be.
Sure.
We can't afford either, so.
No, and I totally get it. I understand that, but somewhere, so it's gonna have to come out of something. I don't know what the answer is. I don't. If I had the
Write more
answer, I wish I did.
tickets, Bigger ones.
What's
more
that?
Citations, bigger ones. I mean,
Yeah, no, I
I don't know
don't.
where you take it from unless you take it from staff, because county doesn't create revenue.
Right,
They
Right.
take taxes.
correct.
So.
Yeah.
All of county expense is employees.
Mhm.
So the only way you get $3 million, if you don't have it, is to lay off $3 million.
Right.
Like, there's not up the price of, a utility.
There would be some savings taking it out of insurance if we were no longer covering it, but I don't know if our
Maybe the
insurance, I
insurance
don't
is
know if our
gonna go
insurance
down.
would be
Right,
like,
right.
oh.
I think there's other options of laying off. I do. It depends on what the board wants to do, willing to do. It's, and nobody likes tax, but there is an availability for the board to do a 1%, one tenth of 1%, excuse me, to do that, to incur some costs, to offset some costs of those expenses until we can sunset it, it can be sunsetted. For some of that offset, because we have that 6 years, that's going to be pretty difficult with our 3/10 until we kind of get ahead of things. I think that's an option that doesn't cost layoffs. It's temporary. That is an option. So I don't think layoffs are the only answer, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that's the answer either.
Yeah, no, and I think we
Yeah.
are prepared to go to the voters. We can put it on the
Sure.
ballot with minimal cost to the county, so I think we just need to look at that. But there are a lot of hands in that pot, just so you know.
Sure. No, I get it.
We'd
I
definitely
totally
be-
understand. I don't know of any other office in this county or department that has a higher liability than the sheriff's office does. I don't know of one, especially when it comes to the litigation that comes in. And maybe Trevor has a better answer than I do, or Blair does, but I think our office has the highest risk of anybody in the county.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, you have the highest insurance costs.
So, I understand there's a lot of hands in it. I get
Yeah,
that.
no, and I think we looked at it. It just, this year in our budget, it's like, I don't know where it's gonna come from.
Yeah. And
Well, this
I'd
year's
love
a
to have the answer
shortfall,
too.
you're pulling from reserves, next year's a bigger one, the year after is a bigger one, then the jail opens and it's a bigger one,
Yeah.
so.
Mhm. No, I get it. I get it. I do.
Sorry, I just wanted to point that out.
No, I
so-
totally understand. And I am extremely supportive of the board. I truly am. You guys have been more than gracious to the sheriff's office, and you always have been. I've been in these meetings now since 2011, and I have no complaints with the Board of Commissioners at all. And we've been like I said, you've been very gracious to us. I just wanted to make sure that I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't bring it up again, because of the importance for us to have it in the forefront. And like I said, I don't know the answer of figuring out the pay for the cost of it. But it's extremely important.
How do we ensure, let's pretend we did have it 2.8 million or whatever it costs. How do we ensure or guarantee that that risk is moved off the county into whoever CH, whatever their name is? CHP. How do we know for sure that that risk is?
Which is all part of the contract, Trevor. I'm assuming that's where that would be outlined in.
That would be correct. I mean, taking a look at the terms of the contract and happen to evaluate, and in all fairness, I have not had an opportunity to review the contract to say that this is in fact what it says it's going to be, and that would be essential to make sure. I gave Sheriff Creed the example this morning. If we're buying a Corvette, we're not getting a Toyota Corolla. So that would need to be taken a look at. The concept at some level makes sense to me, but it would require the diligence to make sure that it does in fact do what it is intended to do.
So with it would be, like you said, the contract, it would, yes, we would, if another death would happen, but with having the care there, hopefully it wouldn't happen because there would be 24/7 higher care. One, you're not relying on deputies to try to do medical care, which they're not trained to do. So hopefully it wouldn't happen. We could get them to the hospital, you relying on their medical care of the doctors, nurses that would be there. But heaven forbid, if it did happen, their insurance carrier would cover us. And then if we do get sued, we'd have some protection. And then their insurance carrier would take over for whatever their limits are. So it would take a significant protection on us, which I don't know what their limits would be.
Okay, so if they indemnify us, so then they cannot enlist us in a lawsuit? Because this is kind of what happens.
No.
Grant County keeps.
No, that's not how the indemnification works. Essentially, the claim would come in, Grant County would still be on the hook, but they would be looking to CHP, thank you, for essentially reimbursement of whatever costs would be out there. And so it's kind of a pass-through thing, but ultimately Grant County's still holding the bag. It's akin to insurance here at that point in time, but another company's going to be responsible for it.
So another hypothetical. So let's say that we, are able to approve 2.8 million for this, right? So we approve the 2.8 and then we get into contract negotiations, but we're at an impasse because theirs are unwilling to take that risk. They're going to have something in that contract that says, now, wait a minute, they're not willing to take 100% of the risk. Now we're at an impasse. Is it better? Is there a way to, even if it was, again, for this hypothetical, prior to the commissioners approving or whatever, is there a way to work on that contract to ensure it meets the terms that would be required by the county that best protects us before we even consider it?
I would sure think so. I mean, we've had CHP up here twice to ask those questions specifically directly to them.
Yeah.
And they're more than willing to come back up here, without a doubt.
I mean, I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't. It would just have to be, Trevor would have to have time to take a look at it and
And I haven't had the opportunity to
Yeah.
have those meetings, so
just hasn't. Yeah.
that would be,
I still don't know where.
So how many staff members would this affect?
Would it affect?
As far as nurses and doctors?
So they would be willing to come in and absorb our current staffing that we have. So all the county employees that we have, I can't guarantee they would go to work for CHP, but what I can tell you, the significant increase in wages, I would be extremely shocked if they didn't.
So that would be a decrease in your budget.
Correct.
Correct, exactly.
Yeah. We're gonna have a decrease in my budget with the wages, benefits. We're gonna have a decrease with ambulance and medical services. We're gonna have a decrease with medications, physicians visits, because they come in, it's turnkey. They
Have you
take care of the
figured out
ambulance
those totals, what that savings is?
We did.
Yeah, we did a while back, and without the staffing and taking into consideration, you're about $1 million. For the professional services, when you start talking about the ambulance rides and the hospital visits, it's really hard to get that crystal ball out to see exactly how many that you're going to have. But to kind of segue off that, we're also, as of last Monday, went live with the 1115 Healthcare Authority waiver. So everybody that comes into custody now, we see if they're actively enrolled with a managed care organization or Apple Healthcare, one of the MCOs. And that's going to help us offset a lot of those additional medical runs that we're having to take them up to CBH within the first 90 days. And typically, that's where we see the ambulance rides, unless they're into a fight or something after that. But that way, the state pays for all that. So we're also going to see a reduction in a lot of our medical costs through them.
Who's actually responsible for changing the inmate exclusion policy to Medicaid? And I mean, we've advocated for it, but where does that reside in the changing of that legislation? Is it at the state or is it at the?
It's at the state. So as, for instance, like right now, somebody gets booked in, we look in what they call a provider one to see if they've been enrolled into insurance in the past. And if they have, we reach out to whatever MCO that they were originally enrolled with and see if they still want to connect with them. And then we'll connect with them. They have a Zoom meeting to be able to see what resources that they need for the time of release.
Yeah, so I've emailed 4, 5, 6 different legislators about that, and it's crickets. I can't get anything back from anybody on that topic at all. It's like it doesn't even exist, which is too bad.
Yeah, it's crazy. Throughout the state, I will tell you, it's getting harder and harder and harder to get medical inside jails. There's a lot of agencies that are pulling out of Washington, which are leaving jails kind of high and dry. Then they're going out to RFP and they're getting 0 responses from them whatsoever. 0. So you have some counties that are just starting to scramble to go, how am I going to maintain medical care? And I think they were pretty fortunate for CHP when it come in and willing to provide these services, but it's getting harder and harder and harder, especially whenever this $31.5 million lawsuit comes out. Washington State does not have a cap on tort claims, and that's scaring them away because it's expensive.
So that was what I wanted to do today, is just bring that up instead of we're getting closer to cracking the doors open in that place. And like I said, I wish I had the answer where the funding's gonna come from, but I don't. I'd be more than willing to sit down in another study group session. I don't know. I just don't know. To try to get creative somehow or what we could do. So.
Well, it would be helpful, even though it's crystal ballish, if we could understand that offset.
And we have it. I don't think about it. I don't know if you guys saw it today or not in there. So,
Yeah,
but we do have
it'd
it.
be nice to have that, and then
Yeah, we do. It's
projection of, what the income might be if you put other inmates in outside of Grant County.
well, that's
Charge for those.
we'll be. Well, I already know that we're gonna. Of course, it's again a little crystal ball-ish, but I've already got commitments from 2 agencies right now that are willing to contract for beds that are going to bring in probably close to $1.5 million of revenue coming into the county for renting bed space.
Which isn't gonna cost us any more to have them there.
It's not.
It's
It's not. And then the only thing we're gonna need to get that second pot open is just a couple more staff to get the second pot open. And then that opens up even more opportunities. I know that I've had conversations with other counties as well within the state, and other municipalities. So there's other people that want to give us an opportunity to offset that. And it's also not going to take away the need that we have within our county as well. Because what I don't want to do is take away the needs that we have locally to bring in revenue for contracting with other agencies. I'm not willing to do that. So, yeah. But just with the 2, we'd be offset about probably $1.5 million. So, and I think I projected in the budget about 650.
9.8 million
No, for
over the
the,
revenue.
yeah, for the
minus
beds.
677. Okay, let me tell you, sure.
I think it was 6 something, if I remember right, 658 maybe.
No revenue.
Because it'll be starting in June. Well,
Let me
July,
get-
excuse
Let me
me.
get my glasses on so I can read this. At 820, 620 or 820, it's in green. I think it's 620.
So that's just part of the year. That's not for the whole year, so. Yeah. So there are some savings that we would have by having them, and there's also some increased revenue that we would have by having the bed rates coming in, contracted beds. We're already increasing our revenues now because we've opened up, for DOC to start booking their people again, so that's helped. We're gonna be up even a little bit more, a little bit ahead of the game as far as the 620,000 for revenue for the bed space, so, or the bed rates, with DOC coming back on board, so, yeah. So we're trying to get ahead of things a little bit, much as we can, to try to offset some of that.
So how's that gonna work when you first open up? You're just gonna use your current staff?
Well, we're gonna have to open up one pod at a time, so we're gonna have to do. So, and which we're not gonna open the doors and let the floodgates come in, because my staff just can't keep up with it, right? So we'll have to open up in kind of phases, to get our population growing in a staged manner, so to speak, to get to that point, and then we'll be able to evaluate when the next pod will open, or what we gotta do to get it opened. So as of right now, we've got to revisit it again, but we went through, we spent 3-4 hours going through the staffing stuff. Because initially, the corrections team said we're going to need probably somewhere close to 20 new corrections deputies. Said that's not happening. So let's be realistic for a minute and let's see how many we actually need to get that thing open so we can operate. I want to know operations. 20 would be amazing, but that's just not realistic. It's just not.
Will wants to come in and do that exercise with y'all, so.
Yeah, so we got it down to 4 corrections staff and 3 more support staff to be able to get that second pod open. So, having everything kind of spread out makes it a little bit more, I'll call it cumbersome, but it's not, because if we had the same type of design we have now and had 450 inmates, we would need a whole heck of a lot more staff than we have now. I mean, substantially more. But the way the design is up here, we can go to 450 with a significant less amount of employees that we would have to operate on a facility design this way. So it's way more efficient, as Will's going to tell you, and Tom knows, and I know it's way more efficient. But we still have to have the people to man the posts that have to be manned. Even though there's going to be fewer of them, but because we have 2 pods instead of 1, you have to put people in a second pod because it's going to have housing in it. So we got to have it manned. So, but it's a significant less amount of people than if we had the model that we have here now. So. So that was really all I had. I don't know if Blair, if you have anything else to add or anything, but Trevor. So.
I got a question. Is there any provision for education for the inmates or something to help them to overcome whatever it is they're struggling with now?
Yeah, most of the average day length of stay for an inmate in our county jail is about 10 days. So most of the population wouldn't be there long enough to get that educational piece for it. There are some that are there for an extended period of time waiting for court, but on average, I think it's about 10.7 days, something like that right now. So we haven't pushed the educational piece just because people aren't there that long. But we do have the availability now to have AA come in there, chaplaincies coming in, those types of things for people that are there for an extended period of time to come see that. But as far as the educational piece, people just aren't there that long to follow through with that.
But isn't that because that's what the judges programmed to assign to them? I mean, I've sat in the courtroom before.
Sure.
Recently, and it appears that he's giving them a year minus a day, suspended, a fine, suspended, most of it. And then even those without housing are getting on house arrest. I'm like, okay, what, car or something?
Yeah, those are
house, but
those are specific things that I don't know the answer to, because that's part of the judicial branch of government that I don't mess with. I don't know what their stipulations are as far as the sentencing guidelines go and the requirements for bail and things like that. So the right to bail, there's certain things that they have to abide by with rules for the courts.
Sure.
That I'm not aware of, so I can't speak to the judicial side.
Okay, so their sentencing has nothing to do predicated on housing availability.
That I don't know.
Who does?
Well, it depends. I don't know what their sentencing guidelines are. That's an agreement between Trevor, jump in anytime if I'm messing this up, between the prosecutor and defense along with the judge to decide what the sentencing is. If somebody gets sentenced to 30 days in jail, we're going to take them. Period.
Right, well, sure, you have to.
We're going to take them.
Like
We're taking
training.
That's your job.
Exactly.
Well, and I'm not trying to be sticking the
Tom,
mud.
thank you.
It's 10 to 10.
But when you're talking about,
Until 10 o'clock. Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. We're here for our human resources update. Open forum for public comment, 5-minute limit, human resources related topics only.
We have 4 attendees online. One is Emily. She has no public comment. We have a GCR guest, an iPhone guest, and Jake Medkey. I have given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment for human resources related topics.
Hearing none, we'll move on. There's no one in the room, so
Okay, good morning.
good morning.
Item 2, I have 3 labor relation items that I need to go into executive session for, please. And we'll start with 10 minutes.
10 minutes. That was for job applicant evaluation.
Labor relations.
Labor relations. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't. Okay. It is 10:01. We're going to go into executive session. Negotiations RCW 42.30.140.4A for 10 minutes, coming out at 10:11. It is 10:11. We're out of executive session, going back in for another additional 10 minutes till 10:21.
It's a little brutal, like.
It is 10:21. We're out of executive session to give Decorah authority for bargaining all 3 items on our agenda.
Okay, so Renew, I have bargaining authority, yes?
Yes.
Yes,
Public Works
yes.
Yes.
and Sheriff's Office?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, item number 3, job application, employee evaluation. I don't have anything today. Item number 4, I don't have anything. Item number 5, I have department head par for your signature. Development services director. That's annual increase.
I need to go back to those.
An environmental planner. Isn't that sad? We have to have an environmental planner.
Environmental planner, so
But we're
that's
the only state that has to have that.
so, as you heard yesterday, MPMR, I do have the few positions we'll go over. So environmental planner, are you prepared to make a decision on that?
Yes. I mean, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're prepared, or yes,
No,
you're
yes,
okay with it?
I'm a yes on all of them.
Okay,
So,
Double yes.
okay. Commissioner Jones? Would you like to weigh in?
Well, yeah, my Windows, Microsoft is
You're
not
stuck,
signed
okay.
in, so I'm not able to open these things.
I will give you a moment.
I don't know my password.
was you here yesterday? I have a packet.
I didn't get a package.
No,
this
no,
week,
no, you didn't. It was emailed to us.
It was an email.
So I
Which is
think it
fine
came
if you
from,
didn't access your drive. It's not fine if your computer doesn't access your drive.
oh, did you get kicked out again? Did you get kicked off? You know, I have not been locked out for like 2 weeks.
He is.
Oh, you said it now. You'll get locked.
He took your list.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob. took
Well,
it.
the problem is
No,
that
I'm thinking.
I have to sign in.
I would have to look
approve
at
my
something.
request on my Mac or on my iPad. My iPad's not here, so
Okay.
Well, can you do your phone?
no.
Which part are you, what do you want to look at, Rob?
I'll have to look at that
Can you email it? Can you even look at emails?
one. Okay, scroll down.
And I've got my packet from
What
yesterday.
is the cost difference on this position versus the existing position?
I believe he's, how much? 700?
1,000.
Oh, 7,000 a year is the difference.
Mhm.
And they do have the revenue from the
Yeah.
170 solar
I
fund.
believe the person is actually doing the
They're
job.
doing the
and they
job
need to-
now.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, my concern from my position is the only, like, getting the complaints of slow permits going out, and you're gonna remove a person and then put it onto a different thing.
Well, you're not removing the person. I mean,
You're removing them from their current
which that,
job.
those
so
things
you're-
will be sent to the other planners
Well,
that can,
but it's already operating in this way. So I'm okay with this, but it's not gonna help speed anything up is my issue, I guess.
Yeah, I think the complaints I'm having is the permitting is taking too long.
And but that's not planning permitting, that's building permitting.
Building.
I would say,
Yeah,
in the building
Which
side of things.
We gotta keep
different-
those
Yeah.
two separate.
Well, this person doing the job, just saying.
And what I heard yesterday from the presentation was that they wanted a dedicated person
Well, yeah, they
to
have
just
it.
do
just not-
that, to become an expert in it, so that everybody who's doing them has to go and do research and meet, and that takes longer. So if they have a
Mhm.
dedicated person who becomes an expert,
And
they
that's
get
her main
processed
focus,
fast-
yeah.
They get processed faster. That's what I heard
Mhm.
yesterday.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's in the
And that's
plan.
great.
I think
but
we
they're
just-
already doing it.
Yeah, we just
So,
jumped off track.
yeah, we just have to clean up what they're doing, but the
Mhm.
point is they're already doing it. So,
Yes, but again, timelines are building, which I think you're talking about things take longer versus planning timelines.
Yeah,
Because
we're talking
planning,
about the building department is,
Well, and you've also
Taking
got a
some
lot
time.
more going on in Grant County right now than ever before, which you
Yeah.
have to take that into consideration.
and planning does have very specific timelines in which permits need to be done. So,
I'm a
So-
yes.
okay.
Oh, I
Kevin-
already said it,
Yeah,
yes.
Kevin was a yes. Rob,
I already
checked.
signed the paper, I'd like it to move faster.
okay, move faster. Okay, the next
Locking
one,
it down to you. Gina, do you want it? Or do I hand it to you?
I will take it. And then would you mind taking that up to Kevin?
No,
Pass that one through. That is for the approval for that position. Okay, next one, deputy assessor in the assessor's office. Again, this is a backfill. We heard yesterday, it had been posted for recruitment last year. However, it was not filled due to the assessor's busy schedule.
Trip and fall. I mean, slide and fall, sorry. Kevin's got a real disaster going on right next to him, he's gonna fall. I mean, yes.
Okay, Cindy's a yes. Kevin
Hand it to me and I'll just walk it over.
Yes, ma'am.
and Rob?
Yep.
Thank you. Next one, renew, it's a backfill for the accounting technician. Person was hired and resigned for personal reasons, and they'd like to backfill that. Kevin,
Yes, ma'am.
Cindy,
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll meet you halfway. Last one is the sheriff's request for,
My steps in.
Yeah, I need this.
10,000, it takes me a bit.
It does actually take a bit.
Okay, with this.
last one is for the sheriff's sergeant position that he spoke to you about yesterday,
I'm indecisive.
indecisive. Anything,
Yeah, I think we have to.
we have to, finish with that?
We need training. Were you here when we had that discussion afterwards?
That's required by the state.
Well, we have a training sergeant already.
Well.
So
should we
Gina,
probably
can
do an
you,
executive session?
you're the consultant for the department, or the office, can you provide your insight into who's currently doing that training work and the anticipation of the department and the movement of where people would probably be going? Thank you.
Should we go to executive session?
Yes.
And I think we can speed
Yeah,
it up
because,
really fast.
yes, we will, because we will need to be talking about people individually, so.
Okay.
Yep, if we can go into exec, that would be great.
Lucky Caitlin, like
Personnel?
Caitlin gets her 10,000
Personnel,
steps
yes.
in before noon.
Personnel disciplinary or job applicant evaluation?
Evaluation.
Thank you, Caitlin.
5 minutes? are going into executive session for job applicant evaluation, RCW 42.30.110 till 10:35. It is 10:35. We're coming out of executive session.
Okay, thank you for that conversation. So is the board prepared or is requesting to hold for more information?
Hold.
Okay, we will get more information and bring it back to you when we have it. Thank you. Item number 6, budget, finance, compensation. I don't have any topics today. Recruitment. I don't have anything specific. Today, I will say that we have currently 3 viable candidates for the deputy clerk of the board. So they'll be, I haven't reviewed them yet, but we'll get that reviewed today. Are getting some there. Benefits, nothing today. And policies 621 through 632. Have you been able to review?
I didn't.
I'm still vague on the travel, some of the travel.
Okay,
And I think it's, like you said, different airlines, different, and I don't expect somebody to be sitting in this center seats.
yes. And you're right, I was going to adjust that language and I forgot. So I will do that and then get it back to you. We'll bring it back. So we will hold that item. And then I don't have anything further. Did any of you have something you'd like to discuss?
Did. Caitlin has a goal of getting all of our minutes done like we are supposed to have them weekly. So this week's agenda, we will be on next week's, or the minutes, sorry. This week's minutes should be on next week's consent agenda. So if you have anything that is holding up the consent agenda, I don't know if it's policy or paperwork, if we could get it. It's actually a violation that we've had with the state auditor's office. That is our goal, so we are just trying to support Caitlin in her goal of keeping the minutes, so we are only a week behind instead of a month or 2 weeks.
Absolutely. And Caitlin is doing our piece now, the recording piece, and then anything that gets signed in here, I take back to the office, scan it in, and then provide her a copy.
Okay, excellent.
So that way she's got it within, I don't know, usually an hour or 2 after our meeting. So she gets it pretty quick, I think.
I think the longest ones ever were like, when you have the big chunks of policies, sometimes that takes a while to get, but
Yeah.
it's been a while since we've had one of those, so.
Yeah, okay. But if we fall behind, let us know and we'll work quicker.
Caitlin is taking this by the storm, just
Okay.
grabbing the bull by the horns.
Then the only thing that I would like to discuss is looking at creating a CFO position under the board. And
CFO.
a CFO
Oh,
position
uh,
under board
The CFO.
that would focus on budgets. But basically, I would like to look at creating the position, looking for the candidate, and building kind of the position, and then going from there in the future. But can't do it with one person's opinion, so I just have to bring it up here.
So what I hear you saying is that you'd like a financial director or
That's
a
working
second
on the
CFO
budget.
under the board and under,
Yes.
and would that position report directly to the board or to
I'd
Tom
report
and then
to
to the
Tom
board?
and then to the board. I think
Okay.
that's probably the best way it would go.
Okay. Any thoughts from the other 2 commissioners on that?
I think it's a great idea.
well, I'm interested to see what becomes of our study or whatever, we're in the process.
The third party? Okay.
As mine, however, I think that creating the position, getting like what you would want from it, how it would work, how it would report, and then open would be kind of ahead to work with that audit, maybe on the back end.
So you are directing or would the board is the board directing HR to work on a job description?
I would be directing
wage.
if I was, a solo,
Yes,
but
but
it's not how it works.
I need 2 or 3 for us to move forward with at least putting together a job description, doing a wage comparison for surrounding counties for that position or our standard counties. Is that?
I would really, before we moved ahead on that, I would really like to discuss it with our partners, which would be probably Daryl's office, Michelle's office. Missy's office has a component of it. Not doing something that nobody's aware of.
I would be open to that, but we are at the end of it, the fiscally responsible trio. And I'm just kind of over being in the liability of our current situation. So,
Yeah.
I could go either way on that
I
portion.
think if we set something up and just announce it, I think it's readily received if they're a part of the planning versus instead of being part of the team, we're kind of doing things without including them because they are a part of our fiscal circle.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I will add, I have to add, I would feel like it's not right if I didn't, is that fiscal circle hasn't worked.
But I think if you notice all the training,
Yes.
you do include everybody. You don't make a decision that
I do.
impacts
I agree
other
with that,
departments and
but-
offices without including them. So I think that is just to be inclusive.
Fair enough, to be inclusive.
I think
And I'm not
for me,
opposed to it.
as a newbie and the fiasco that we had with the budget, I feel like if we don't do something, I'm not doing my job. That's just my opinion. And I think that we owe it to the citizens of Grant County to be proactive as opposed to wait until it happens and then say, oh, gosh, I didn't see that coming. I mean,
I did see it coming.
well, and that's, and somebody could come in and say, well, you were in those meetings, how could you not see it coming?
Caitlin, I think somebody is lost.
So that's my opinion.
She's waiting for the public.
Oh, okay.
for the next
Okay.
meeting.
And your thought on having a meeting with
I'm open to
other electeds
Pretty much.
before making a decision or at the
Well, I
same
think we
time?
can move forward on it, but I just think we need to
Okay.
notify them and
Yeah, I think they
I
can
guess
weigh in on
get their input.
And when would you like to notify them
Well, I
of
think
that?
since this
Probably
is just
next
made
week.
public,
Yeah.
I think we need to do it sooner than later.
Sooner than later?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably the first of next week if we can.
Yeah.
Just a quick, what do we have next week?
Sorry, I could have done an evaluation, but I
Oh,
just.
No, and I feel like, I think it's extremely important. We do have a lot of transition
be transparent.
in 2027 because we have our our auditor that's leaving, commissioner that's leaving, Daryl's leaving. So we do have, plus all the new financial people that are working in public works here.
We gotta get ahead of this because
Yeah.
we have a lot of change coming next year.
Yes, there is.
Well, and even just currently what has happened.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure we're,
Okay, so I'm gonna
notifying those
reiterate what
who are-
I've heard,
Sounds like
just to
we're all
make
agree on
sure that I'm on the same page with the 3 of you. I hear all 3 of you saying, yes, HR can move forward with creating. And as well as next week, there will be discussions with other electeds.
Is there open time next week?
your PMRT typically does not take an hour.
Correct,
Do
typically.
you mind do
do
you mind?
30
Do you mind if we take the last like 15, 20 minutes?
No, that's
whatever,
fine.
Your meeting.
I'm good with that. You can give that time back to you.
PMRT to end at 11:45 next Monday.
Mhm.
And then is this a schedule? Oh, I did the wrong thing. So
We could
sorry.
probably do
Oh,
11:30. I
Okay,
mean,
well, let's do
so
11:30,
we have a
so
whole
half
half an hour with them.
And then
Sorry,
you
Gina.
want me to reach out to those other offices?
Yeah, I would reach out to Daryl I think Missy is a part of the financial package in a way,
Let them know what we're thinking.
and the commissioners.
Do you want that to come from me, or do you want it to come from Tom or HR?
I could go from Tom.
Where's Tom when we need him?
I'm just kidding.
I know Tom's not even in here. Surprise.
Yeah, perhaps Tom
He's
said
in a
something else.
class or something. Training.
Well, that's right, he's in class. He knew he was gonna, yeah. it's up.
Can you, Cindy, state again, you said the treasurer, the auditor, the assessor. Is that it?
And then the commissioners, I think that, I'm probably forgetting somebody really important,
Well,
but I
let's
think
think
that's our
about
financial
this.
team.
Let's think about this. Yeah, no.
For
She's
me, I
still
think
thinking, yeah, no.
Because I think, well, like public works, they do have a component of it, but as far as like the.
Yeah.
those-
Do you think everybody will be interested in the position based on what's going on and may
I-
feel left out if they weren't included? I think about Renew. I think about the sheriff's office.
Well, I think
They're
right
big
now they
users.
are users of it, but I think we really need to get to the core group before we get
Okay,
to expand.
okay.
So I think it's more of just gonna, I think, the
Kind of
courtesy
start.
of letting them know this is what we're looking at. And
I'm sure word will travel really fast around here.
I'm sure it already
but
has.
it would be, yeah, it already has, but I think it's just is more of a partnership than we're doing this.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they might have a better suggestion.
Okay. Anything else from the board?
Not that I can think
I
of.
can't do anything else.
Okay. And that's it for us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is 10:46. We'll go into recess until 11 a.m. Yeah, 11 a.m.
Yes.
Good morning. It is 11 o'clock. We're here for our commissioners meeting. I'll call it to order. Open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. Anybody in the audience that would like to speak? Jerome?
Jerome Wivers, Moses Lake. I'd like to speak again about what I spoke about last week concerning the security out at the fairgrounds. I'm in agreement with Cindy from what she said this morning about it should be the same for everyone. Also, I'd like to address the Placer software that was purchased years ago now and how accurate it is. I mean, if it's saying there was 900 people at this one event and Rob, I believe, stated there's probably closer to 300.
At a time.
Just at a time, yeah. Because everybody comes in and goes out, comes in. New people come in, people go out.
So you're going to base your future decisions on what Placer says or what actually is there and how you can determine if someone's actually there,
That's the difficult part.
right? I'd like to see you come up with some policy to address that.
Well, I'm gonna address it on that date.
Are you gonna count?
Quicker.
I think I'm gonna count. I think I'm gonna ask for the chamber to count. Because they have the sheet.
Can they do it like sometimes it fluctuates. An hour is a big fluctuate if they did it like every 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Even 15
I
or
have an
30.
idea. But I was thinking that when I said that was,
I appreciate that.
and I know it's, the phone comes in to the, so you have a mapped area.
Geofence.
Once it comes in, that's one, it leaves, comes back in, that's two. So figuring that out.
Just let me know. That might be a little difficult.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jerome.
Jerome.
Thank you.
Thank
Anybody
you
else
for the
have any-
support.
Yes. Did you guys have something you want to talk
Do you have
about?
any?
Can I give you these?
Is it all right to be public record?
Yeah.
Okay.
It came from the county assessor's office,
Okay.
so
Yep.
I don't think there's any problem with it. We bought our property in 2012. In January of 2013, we got a letter from Pam Hill at the assessor's office saying that somebody had been out and looked at our property and that it didn't appear to qualify. Knowing Pam, I called her and she set up a meeting with the man that was in charge of the current use section there at the assessor's office. My husband and myself, Vance Burke, Tom Johnson, and Vance for himself, and as a representative, Jim Chamberlain, went to the meeting. And we were told that because this property was part of what was the Little Dipper Ranch years ago, had been in current use since the beginning of time. It was broken up
Just a minute. Can you hang on?
specifically into 40-acre
I'm gonna
tracts.
invite Missy, who is our assessor. Because this definitely deals with her office,
What is her name?
Missy
Leslie
McKnight.
McKnight.
Okay.
So I just, sorry to interrupt, I just think it's, if she can stay and listen, I'm not sure she can. We have a current use. You're here just in time. Okay, sorry to be,
Just
keep going. We're
Anyway,
just talking about a current,
Pam-
current use.
Pam set up a meeting with, for us here at the courthouse. And we were told since the property had been in current use forever, had never been farmed, it's just rock and sagebrush. And as long as we left it in all the tracts out there that we all owned were 40 acres or a little bit more, as long as we didn't break them up, we would fall under the current use deal and we were fine. And we didn't have to worry about providing evidence that we, of farming. And then in 2015, we built our house. And let's see, this year, we got a letter from an Amy Perez, I think. And she said that the same letter that we'd gotten from Pam 13 years before. This is the first letter we'd gotten since 2013. And it said that we didn't qualify and that we needed to fill out this form and send it back. So I called her because I was under the impression from this gentleman we talked to when we had the meeting that we didn't have to do this. As long as our property was 40 acres, we were good to go. And she said, no, that's not true anymore, that things have changed. And I thought, well, why didn't we hear about it before getting this letter? So I filled it out as best I could and sent it back. And yesterday we got a response in the mail, which you've got a copy of, that says that we do not qualify. And in the form for current use removal, it says at owner's request, which is not true. And saying that we were going to be getting a bill for over $9,000. Now, I called the treasurer's office because I didn't understand how that was going to work and why we wouldn't have gotten notice before just all of a sudden hitting us with owing $9,000. And he said, oh, you've got notice. You've got 30 days and we're filing a tax lien. He was short. He was rude and not very helpful, other than to know that we're getting a tax lien filed on us in 30 days if we don't pay that $9,000. And I do not understand the pages she's got of calculation. She's got one page that says senior calculation, one page that says non-senior calculation. So our home is got a senior exemption on it. So I'm not sure if she pulled that too. I don't know. I don't understand any of it. She was not very helpful. And I know I was a little excited when I talked to her because $9,000 bill was not what we were expecting. So anyway, I would like to know why we would be getting penalty and interest for all those, for the years you're going back, when we were under the impression from the county that we were still qualified for current use and we didn't have to do anything. So that's my problem.
Okay, because this isn't our department, we have Missy from the
Yeah.
assessor's office. She can
So
hopefully
the
answer.
current use program is designed for keeping property in commercial agriculture, which means you are farming, you are selling a product, whether it be cattle, sheep, crops, whatever. You could actually even, there is some uses for like horse boarding and training and that kind of thing. It is an opt-in. Yes, back in the back day, they just put everybody in. When I came in they'd never been audited. We never had anything updated. So we started, as you went through, they were supposed to be sending out letters. Why yours got missed back then, I do not know.
13 years is quite a gap.
However, it actually worked for you because now the laws when it's told, it used to be 7 years back taxes, now it's only 4. So that actually worked in your
But
favor.
penalty and interest?
Mhm.
What, when
Because
we did,
there's a difference of the taxes, it's a tax shift to everybody else of what you paid and what you should have paid. And so that's what you're paying back is that difference.
plus penalty and
That's
interest,
how the RCW is written.
why do we have a
But if she wrote down that it was by owner
request?
request, that actually saves you, penalties, it's just interest.
Well, there's plenty of penalty and interest on this calculation she sent
But
us.
that's why you got 2 is because you have a senior on your house and a certain amount of land. So any land that's under current use and senior, the current use is removed, it doesn't remove your senior exemption at all. Because it has to stay in there. There's a residential interest, especially on your house, that, and I believe you might have a calculation error in yours because of this. It's at a lower rate, it should be at a lower rate than just like, say, a field with a house.
How do we get it recalculated?
That's what we're working on.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually have to take it into our software company because we had a question on it, and so does Daryl. So we actually are looking at it right now. I know, because when I hit the office yesterday morning, Amy grabbed me right away, said you were very upset, and she said that she was gonna terminate the phone call.
Okay, Missy, I hate to cut you off, and I'm just wondering if you don't mind, because we do have, I think, a 3-minute time limit, and we've got another meeting 11:30. We've got
Yeah, you
this,
can come to my
and
office and we can talk about
and it just
it.
happened, so happened that Missy was driving by, and I think she can, we'll be able to finish up this conversation.
That's
Anyway.
fine.
That way she can
Thank you.
explain to you how it all works at least.
I mean, it's on
Well,
my
the current
desk
use is
now
not, it's something,
because
it
we
is
have
regulated by the
calculation
state.
questions. So if you wanna come down, I can see where that's
She's just
at.
right over in the
Want
corner.
to do that?
Yeah, just right around.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
You as well.
Yeah,
Have a good day.
fun.
All right, let me know I'm up.
Your turn.
All right. My name's Harris Turner. I live in Moses Lake. I'm a builder. I'm a small builder in Grant County. I build in multiple other jurisdictions outside of Grant County, and I continually have significant issues with Grant County every step of the way. I know other builders share the same sentiment. Every contractor does, and they all say the same thing. We don't have these problems other places. Just a quick summary. You guys average about 12 weeks on turn times for applications. Actually, I think it's closer to 16 now. If you use the last 2 that took, closer to that 16-week mark. I haven't, that was an old number, and they keep getting worse. Last summer, your inspectors made me rip out about $2,500 worth of concrete, which was my mistake. I will 100%. I wasn't worried about $2,500. 2 houses on the other side of my street had the exact same mistake and were approved within 2 weeks of mine on final occupancy. They were by a bigger builder. They weren't by a small builder. I don't know if that's why that happened. Clearly, there's an issue there that wasn't addressed.
The same inspector.
Don't know. I didn't get that far. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, not to be rude, but I don't see how it's relevant. It really shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't.
Yeah, it was because it was a code violation. I don't mind ripping out the steps, but I don't understand how I had to do it when someone else did, because again, I made my mistake. I'm happy to pay that, learn that lesson, move on from there. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I was charged a $100 fee for failing an inspection multiple times. Every time that inspector was on site, he passed me for another inspection that was sequential in order of operations. I'm sure I texted you about this. I have a feeling to say, look like you recognize what I'm talking about here. I failed a shear wall nailing inspection multiple times over. Every time that inspector was on site, I passed something else that had to be done for me to continue moving. Every single time he was on site. I still got charged a $100 fee for a separate trip. So I am to the point now where I'm going to start, to prove a point, maximizing the number of trips they have to go out there. I mean, I don't understand how I'm being charged a $100 fee for trips that he was already making. I don't see how that's reasonable or fair. That's another huge issue that we had. I've called his boss multiple times before I texted you. I've left multiple voicemails and I've received nothing back. I understand that $100 in this world is not a lot of money. It is not about the $100. It is about the principle. Like, just for example, this 12-week turnaround time cost me anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 in carrying costs on the capital alone. And on top of the fees that I paid your guys' organization well over $10,000 in the last 6 months, and I will continue to do it every 6 months for as long as I run my business. $100 is not a lot. It's not even significant. I don't even notice it coming out of the project budget, right? It's the principle of the matter, the fact that I was charged a $100 fee for an inspector who did not have to make a separate trip for it. I get if I'm calling him and wasting his trips out there, by all means, that's fair. Charge me the $100. It's not. I just don't see where it's reasonable.
What supervisor did you talk to that you did not get a?
His last name was Poole. It starts with a J. I can't remember because I get them mixed up. Yeah, Jeff was the inspector, and Jeff, I'd like to add that Jeff was very helpful. The inspector was very helpful when I got a hold of him. Again, I've left Mr. Poole multiple messages, and I've called him at least 4 or 5 times over the last couple of weeks. I'd also like to add that I tried to call him the day of the inspection, and the county basically extorted me into paying the $100 fee without having any discussion, because basically I couldn't call another inspection. I couldn't see any progress on it, so I had to pay it to keep my project running, or else yet again, who wrote the carrying costs? I've got $150,000-$200,000 wrapped up in the building. You run it at 7.5%. I'm burning $100 every 2 or 3 days in interest alone. So of course I'm going to pay the $100 fee, right? Basically, I was extorted into paying it without. And again, if you guys can justify why the $100 is there, I have no problems paying the $100. It's the principle of the matter that is the issue here. I'd also like to add that I shouldn't have failed those inspections. I can tell you why I failed them though, and it's because I do this all the time. I go out there and I disagree with the inspector. I call it in the next day and it passes, and I don't do anything. I don't change anything. It's happened at least a half a dozen times because your inspectors don't always know what they're looking at, and I don't think that they're properly trained, and I don't think that's their fault. I've done this many, many times. I have called in an inspection, failed it, and then went out and looked at it and said, you know what? Here's a note. I'm correct. They're wrong. If I see that I'm wrong, obviously I fix it. But multiple times, I do it on a fairly regular basis, fail an inspection, go out there, look at it myself, which also, again, we're talking about $100 trip fees here. I go out to a project that I didn't need to go out to, or I should have been out on the next step, burn my $100. Nothing happens, right? I call it in next day, bam, it passes. It happens all the time. So that's why I failed the first one. The second one was a true misunderstanding with the inspector.
So you're saying that happens all the time here in Grant County? Or?
Yes, only in Grant County. It doesn't happen anywhere else. I've never had, if I go out when I've failed in Chelan, City of Ephrata, Douglas, if I go out there, there is something wrong with the building. I can see where I failed. I've never even had to try to call in a second inspection without any changes. And again, I can tell you, I know of 3 right off the top of my head that I've done that to. I will call it in a couple days later, stack it with another inspection, and it passes. Nobody catches it. And again, that's not the highlight of this. This is just, again, to outline the nature of the relationship that I have had with you guys in my struggles. The time and the money thing, again, the $100 seems to matter a lot when it's going one direction. But when I waste a trip out there, I waste a phone call out there, I send my contractors out there, or again, the carrying cost of thousands of dollars, when I have a $60,000, $100,000, $150,000 asset tied up through permitting processes.
What's the address of this project?
Of which one?
Any one of your
The one with the specific issue is 6549 East Highway 262, and that is lot number 85. And again, the inspector he was correct. I did have a failure on that. But again, the reason that I failed the first 2 was because I made a mistake, and then the second one was because I didn't see the mistake. So I called the inspector after the third one. But again, every time he was out there, he was passing another inspection. I passed, I believe, a pre-installation, a footing post holes to pour my concrete. I passed inspections every time he was on site. And it was a sequential inspection that had to be done for more work to proceed. I'm flying through the process, and that project's going very well. So I was passing inspections every time he was on site. Let's see. Again, I billed 3 other agencies, never had any of these problems. I've also had issues with you guys in the past where I have questions on a project. I had one that I just passed final on a couple weeks ago that when we did it originally, I had a concrete foundation that was poured by somebody who did not have a license, did not pull permits, and did not have bonding, and they kind of screwed my customers, which is not your guys' issue. But I had questions on whether or not the building could actually sit where they had already poured the foundation. I asked multiple times to get somebody to come out on site and help me before I turned in a permit application, just to spend maybe 20 minutes on site making sure that everything was okay. I was told we absolutely do not go out until we have a permit issued. They refused.
That's standard procedure, I believe.
Well, I understand it's standard procedure. We could have saved, we're right back to worrying about $100 here. We could have saved a lot of time and money.
But as a builder, you should know where you can set your house and your footprint by the setbacks that are required, you should know that.
Right.
So why would you need somebody from the county to go out there and tell you where to put it?
Because I was inside of an inch, and what I didn't want to do is go through the process, have them come out and disagree with my measurements, my ratings, and then make me rip out an entire foundation after I'd already spent thousands of dollars tied up in your county with permitting, because I have to pay a deposit up front. I mean, which I understand isn't a significant amount of money. But I feel that it's not, I mean, again, I've handed tens of thousands of dollars to you guys in the last year. I don't think that asking somebody to come out and do a site visit with me for 20 or 30 minutes, when I told them I'll meet you out there, you tell me when.
But if they had to do that for every project throughout the county, can you imagine how much we would spend?
I wouldn't ask for it for every project. I've done
But if
a
you're,
dozen projects in the county and I've asked for one,
okay, but you're one individual.
right?
So if we have 100 individuals that say, I need you to come out to show me where I can put my building, we would never get anything done. You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, I absolutely do. But again, I'm asking for 1 in 12 buildings to be done that way. And in special circumstances when, again, there was already a foundation on the ground. I get when I take over a site plan as a contractor, that's my job. And I know how to string setbacks and everything. And we were very, very close. And I couldn't find property pins originally either. That was part of the other issue that I had. We figured it out. Again, not the main highlight of the issue. It's that we continually have these issues. And I know for a fact that other counties would have done it for me because I've done it.
Why don't we do this? Let's set up a time. We'll go over to the planning department, building department together, and we'll go over your issues that you're having, and we'll settle it that way. How's that?
I'm more than fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim would have come over, but he's on a SmartGov call.
Yeah, so if you can give me a call next week when you're available.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. But I mean, I would just like to highlight again, my time doesn't have a dollar value on it. Your guys' does.
Well, all of our time does.
But
Honestly.
I mean, do I get to invoice you guys for my hourly time for being here and not addressing my issues today and then coming back? I
I wondered
mean,
if they have time after lunch, do you want to see if Jim?
no, I'm not trying to, I'm happy to meet with you guys, but I'm just highlighting this as just further examples of my time, my money, and my resources not being a concern of you guys. I've been through the issues that I have with you guys' planning. And again, I don't have these issues other places. I know that this is a Grant County issue because I build under multiple other jurisdictions and never have any of these problems. And I continually have them with Grant specifically.
Okay.
So I'm more than happy to meet with you guys though.
Is he on a call or a?
He is on a call. He said he did log into SmartGov to view it, that they failed 4 share inspections.
And passed a different one every time.
So, yeah, I think setting up to meet with them would be best. You might be able to.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Soon.
that.
Do you want to see if he has?
You've got my cell phone number, Kevin. If you don't mind just texting me when you guys get a time, I'll make sure that I make it here.
Maybe we can do it right after we get done with our 11:30,
That works.
if you're gonna be in town.
Yeah, I'll stick around if you're ready here for another half hour. We'll grab lunch and see if you guys are around.
Okay.
So,
That'll work.
thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Am I good to leave?
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay. I don't know if I had to stick around. Thank you.
Can you check the call in?
3 attendees online. One is Emily. She says she has no public comment. You have GCR guest and iPhone guest. I've given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment.
Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. For a motion to approve.
I move to approve the agenda as presented today.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Agenda passes. Any correspondence, emails received that need response, letters of support? Anybody have anything?
I sent you guys an email from Rochelle. It is editorial content from J. Ray for review for the travel planner. She's looking for comments on it no later than next Monday. But she also said to let her know if you guys need more time to review it.
Have you sent that to your tourism board?
Yeah, she sent it
Okay.
to tourism
Okay.
and me.
When did you send that, Caitlin?
I saw it last
Yesterday at 2
night.
p.m.
Oh, yes.
Yesterday. Travel planner.
Let's get Stone.
Got it.
There any pictures of this stuff?
No, this is just the word
Just
content.
illustration.
Yeah.
For some reason why we put an algae alert in there.
Did you put the barcode or an alert? Which one's that on?
So, like the places where to eat, you know, you have a couple that are highlighted. Do they pay for this advertisement or how do they make the cut? Because there are a lot of restaurants in.
Not sure. I can reach out and ask them though.
I'm just curious how they select some and not others.
Do we need to respond to her like right away or can we
No, it's,
review that?
yeah, she's asking for comments before next Monday, but she also said that if you guys need more time, I'll let her know.
Where's that at?
Okay.
For the comments?
Oh, algae alert.
Oh,
I mean, I would get rid of the algae alert and
Yeah.
put the QR code to the testing.
Yeah, I would agree.
It'd just be like, check out Lake Health. With that, it wouldn't be,
Yeah, that shouldn't be on there. I mean,
because the whole lake doesn't get the bloom.
well, not only
Certain
that, and it's only,
places and certain times of year.
correct, it's only August, typically, August, September, when that happens, so.
It's not normally by beaches.
Right. Geez, North End of the Lake. Swan Lake. Do you have anything else on that? Did you? Roundtable?
Well, no, okay, so I'm just saying pick, shop and taste. They do have our high peaches, which is, I mean, it's been around for very seasonal, but we have the Maker Farm that is pretty much year round. I'm not picking on one, but I just feel like that might be a better option than a 1 month seasonal orchard. The pick, shop, taste. Farm and flavor, 6 pages.
You should circle back to that one.
Okay,
Yeah, let's move on to consent agenda, or,
no, oh my gosh, we gotta sign them in 4 minutes.
yeah. We have a small agenda, so we're good.
Okay, are we ready for the consent agenda? Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 11.
And I second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll move
Do we
on.
have any walk-ons?
no.
No. Okay, and Tom, as far as the Lexipol, they do have an AI training on there, so we can maybe, Cora was gonna look into it.
Yeah. I just got out of a really scary AI training.
Scary.
Where's Rob?
Even Keith was scared.
Just because of what's going on.
Yeah.
One mic.
Oh, just the pitfalls.
Over here. Send it to Rob. That's right, Kevin's the chair. Kevin's the chair.
Set up a meeting for 3:30 tomorrow.
We'll get used to it.
Hopefully I'm free.
Yeah.
You serve the flag.
Serve with pleasure of the people.
That'll be after our
Kevin's our big deal.
risk
So that's a
training
big
up
deal,
there
and I
for-
moved the paperclip for him.
Oh, that's
When he
right, this
signs-
year, this week
This
we're
week?
supposed to do the.
I moved the paperclip, so I hear everybody talk about, why is the paperclip on the other side?
You were paying attention last week.
Invoices to.
Paying
create
attention.
creative.
And, did I do the first page too? I don't know if I did. Okay.
It's reimbursement request for new
I don't know what's so bad about paper.
award recommendation.
It's just a paperclip. It didn't do anything to anyone.
Oh,
So you step on it with the end up.
Did anybody ever do that for you? What's that? Switch the paper clip?
it's the,
Don't usually have paper clips on my papers.
What do you normally have?
Staples, nothing.
Well, we can't do that. We can't be free like that, Kevin.
change your big stack of,
What's great?
says that,
Month is third way through. 9 months, 20 days. I can only count because I can barely add. Stop doing that.
request to close the renew offices for trainings.
You switch the paper clip?
Request for
Kevin, I like it
TS
on the
to
side that. you
Purchase
do
of
what I
equipment.
Yeah, it's good to understand your struggles.
Purchase order 1065 to Lexipol.
I'd like a dead center just so I can see his head explode.
I only put them dead center if they don't have to sign anything.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Paper clips in the middle of both sides.
But then you would never find
Yeah,
where
it's
to
like, it was
sign.
at the paper clip was in the middle that one time. It's like, you're supposed to sign. How did it get stuck in the middle? Don't worry, we'll forget next week.
I'll probably forget to put the paper clips on the.
Blame it on your
next week.
assistant. Blame it on your deputy clerk,
That's it.
who's
Our
not here.
Biggest problem is where paper clips go. We're doing all right.
Caitlin's like, you guys have no idea the crap I'm doing, so just get over it. That's what
The
Caitlin's saying.
problem though, Caitlin, is if you have your paper clip on the right,
I should have put the flags on the left.
yeah.
Yeah, but then the flags are in the.
It's fine. It works out good. You
Flags.
just put your
Flags
paper
on the
there.
left.
Paper clip,
But-
top, middle, flags on the
Good
bottom.
luck. Good luck in keeping everybody happy.
Let's just say there's no.
Videos, Caitlin.
Can't do it.
Next week, I would show up with like 27 flags on each piece.
You know, put paper clips around the whole piece of paper so we can't even open it.
Okay, great. I'll put the paper clips on the same spot as the flag.
We may not be able to figure out how to open it then.
Okay, it's 11:30, we're here with the Columbia Basin Dispute Resolution Center Annual Report Meeting.
Good
Yes.
morning.
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 How are you guys?
Good. Okay, I'm Ara, the Executive Director, and this is Crystal, who is my intake specialist and right hand. So you should all have a copy of the report,
Yes.
I believe.
Got it yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you lose
So-
yours?
No, it's in here.
Not,
That was from last week.
not a whole lot of change from last year's report. Our funding from the commerce budget was down. We had a $15,362 cut by basically 5% of our operating budget. So the funds that we receive from the court do definitely help us out. Again, we'd like to thank you guys for your support. And we did have a successful year last year. We had a total of 183 cases throughout the year. 12 of those were tenant landlord cases. 2 were actually foreclosure cases. 3 were business, either business to business, business employee, business consumer. We did have one case that was an animal issue, a dog biter, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. And then we did have one that was a contract loan case, trying to get
person to pay their loan. Uh, We had a victim offender case and we had an auto accident case. So quite a variety. And then the balance of those cases were family law. 36 cases were just dissolution and division of property. 38 were dissolution, division of property, including a parenting plan. Then there were basically 85 parenting plans that we did. 2 parent-teen cases, basically dealing with the issues that parents and teens can have and trying to come up with how do we get around that and how do we work together to solve it. And then 1 was actually helping a client retain a protection order. So of the total 67, of those cases, 67 were actually mediated cases. We did have 2 that were just facilitation. And then 7 that were conciliation. So basically, client calls in, we talk to one client, call the other client, talk to that client, and work up an agreement between the 2 over the phone. 56 cases were assistance cases with court forms, by helping people know, after they get their little slip from the court of what papers they need for whatever particular filing, and they don't know how to go from there. So we have them come here, tell the county clerk what kind of case it is they need to file, get the list of what files they need, and then Crystal usually works with them to help them fill those out.
Understand the process and the forms.
Yeah, we don't create or write the forms for them. We scribe what it is that they are saying so that they're in a concise format in those forms. And then we had 51 cases that were just simply information and referral. People calling in saying, we need help with, where do I go? And so we pull from our various networking sources and the different agencies and say, try these, try these, try these. For the mediated cases, facilitated and conciliated, the settlement rate was 84%. So up a little bit from last year. And between the tenant, landlord, and family law mediations, the formula that they use for court savings, which is done through RESWA, each DRC is a member of that association. The court savings are estimated to be $324,977. For the 24,420 that we received from the court. We did serve 454 adults, and through the family law cases, there was 289 children that were served either directly or indirectly through parenting plans and such. And we have found that those mediated parenting plans do not come back to court near as often as either ones that they did themselves or even some of the ones attorneys have done. We've had people come to us after their attorneys filed this parenting plan and neither party is happy with it. So, or even can uphold it in some cases. So we have them work together to create something that is in the best interest of the children, but a plan that is doable for both parties and one that can last. Okay, our total staff hours last year for just having our doors open and meeting people and doing all that was 5,571 hours. And then on top of that, we had 419 hours of volunteers. Okay, even, and I know last year on the report, our net profit was closer to 40,000. This year it was 25. But we had that $15,000 cut in our capacity funding. So again, having that net profit does allow us to put a little bit more in savings for upcoming years that may be lean. Right now, I haven't heard the very latest, but we're faced with another cut this year to the capacity funding. Governor's proposed budget had it at a 50% cut. The Senate proposed budget says, no, leave it alone, let them have their funding. DRCs need it because they save way more money for the state than what the state is paying. The House budget, the last one I saw was still a 25% cut, I believe. So we should know maybe this week, maybe next week, what next year will look like. Okay, and we're continuing to be able to add to our programs. We did have basic mediation and family mediation training this last year, in person at our center. And through that, we have upped our mediators pool by 4 additional certified mediators, and we still have 2 that are within the practicum, getting ready to be. The practicum includes additional training besides those 2 classes, 20 hours of observation, no, 24 hours of no, I was right.
No, it's
20 hours of observation. So they just sit in the room and observe mediators doing their mediations. And then 24 hours as a co-mediator. And then another additional training basically based on what our center procedures are, our tech. How do you fill out this plan? How do you come to it? Where do you get, how do you save it? All of those different things. And then also as we're going along, we're usually throwing in some either domestic violence training, some trauma-informed training, just different things that come up that we have them sit through and learn. And then they basically do an interview with our most senior mediators, and we see if they think they're ready to be certified and be able to run a mediation without a supervisor type. And then we have various questions that we ask, and we sit and decide, yeah, they're ready. So that's kind of our process for that. And Crystal is our bilingual staff. She's fluent in both English and Spanish, which for our demographic is a huge asset. And I'm very, very thankful to have her. We do offer our landlord-tenant mediations at no charge because housing is super important. And usually when somebody can't pay their rent, they're not going to be able to afford a mediation, even though our mediations are on a sliding scale. And quite often we ended up finding that they either were laid off, had no income. Some of them had only TANF. And so a lot of times we would just end up waiving our lowest fee anyways. So we thought, housing's too important. Let's just go ahead and let that be. And that's kind of a holdover from the ERPP, the Eviction Resolution Pilot Program. And then we are trying to continue working with, developing other services to benefit our county and hopefully continue to find ways to reduce the strain on the courts. Services manager. And then, of course, as a result of your continued support through the outreach we have been able to do, we're developing a much fuller, robust networking agency between county commissions and public resource groups, the EFRADA Resource Committee. Maybe it's not what they're called, I think. And then there's different ones in Moses that we're also involved in, usually on a monthly type meeting basis. So again, just thank you guys for all your support. I did include the activities summary, which kind of breaks down the different cases. The 2025 data report from Resolution Washington, we have to report monthly to them a list of all of our closed cases. So these numbers are all cases that are closed. They don't always close within the year you work them. So there were a few more cases as well that we've been working on since last fall that are still open, trying to get the people to coordinate with each other. And this is where I got the court savings numbers from them. And then, of course, the annual report that shows our impact. And then our profit and loss, so you guys can see where our money goes. So that's basically it. Any questions, comments, concerns?
None for me.
With your parenting plans, is there follow-up on those to see how successful they, I mean, is there a metric you look at and say, we did 85 parenting plans and we got, 85 successful parenting plans, or do they come back and say this isn't working? How?
Some of both. We do have those, and that, well, we think this will work, but the majority, we don't hear from again because it's working.
Or they do call just to modify, because, substantial changes, they get a new job, they move, the children goes to school. And in our parenting plan, we do encourage people to come back to mediation before going to court. So one of the things our parenting plan does have is that if anything happens, they come back to mediation first.
As long as that's what they agree to,
Yeah.
which most, I would say probably 99% of the people that we do parenting plans with, they say, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We focus a lot on the best interests of the children. Those are our main focus. And we try to help the parents come to an agreement for them.
And leave their baggage out of it. So, and we do, I was trying to remember what the center called them. But mostly the parenting plans that we help people with are not vague plans. We make sure there's details, time, location, what, if this happens, what happens? If all of those different parameters built in there. We've got a particularly difficult one coming up next week. This is their third time at the table. And that one will have to be almost minute by minute because they are very contentious with each other. So, we take into effect, our office is set up to where we have 4 separate mediation rooms, 2 of which have their own entrance and exit to outside, different parking lots, so that we can accommodate shuttle mediations or like no contact order type thing, or we can offer by Zoom. But we found working with clients that in those either fearful or contentious situations, most of them actually prefer a shuttle mediation over a Zoom because they don't have to see or hear the other person. Party 1 will be in the far front corner office, party 2 will be in our far back office, and the mediators go in between and relay messages, is how a shuttle mediation works. Not my biggest joy. But they work, so we work them.
there's been multiple departments that have reached out for help, like CPS, New Hope. We are, one of our training mediators, she's a guardian ad litem. So we are trying to get all of the resources we possibly can to make our center better for those that need help. And I mean, I feel we're doing a great job because we are getting a lot of cases through CPS. So we're getting there.
Yeah, we're definitely more networked and more visible than we were 3 years ago, 2 years ago. We're continuing to grow, and a lot of that is due to this additional funding that we get from you guys. So we
Yeah,
really
well, a
do
lot of people
appreciate
don't know this is even available. That's
No.
the biggest problem.
that. So we do try to keep, we've got to do some filing while we're here. So we'll be checking to make sure that we have, because we've got rap cards that we keep by the clerk's office. We should have some in the library. Commerce building maybe has some. We are members of most of the area chambers of commerce. And we do like any events that we can. We'll be at the Moses Lake Business Expo. Last year we had one here in Ephrata. We'll be doing again if they have it again. So we do those networking type things, and we also do the tabling events. Yeah, we do the day at the fair. We, just wherever we feel is a fit for the services that we provide, we try to have a presence there and promote mediation.
We also do presentations. We have had people that reach out and they ask for presentations. Sometimes they even ask, it might not be a good fit, but are you guys willing to come? And we'd go. We recently did a presentation for our teachers, the retired teachers. And they liked what we do, and they told another person, and we have another presentation coming up in
the end of April.
The end of April.
This one I've been. It will be with. The Moses Lake Rotary will be presenting.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, those are different, and that was actually a result of the one they did at the Retired Teachers Association. So when we found that, we did a presentation at the Moses Lake Community Association, which ended us with a presentation at DCYF. DCYF refers us to we had a presentation of Goodwill to all of their staff. So those connections are being made and definitely helping spread.
Word of mouth is the best advertisement.
Yes. So we are trying to do as much outreach as we possibly can so people know we're here.
Right.
In fact, we recently received a call, an email from, this is after trying to get into Adams County because we're supposed to cover Adams County as well. They actually reached out and asked us about mediation and how do they hook it up and how do they promote it to so we have a presentation with them.
Have you reached out to the commissioners down there?
Yes.
Pardon? Yeah.
Perfect. Good.
So.
Sounds like you're on the right track.
We're trying. We may have to get creative if our budget gets cut and figure out how we continue because fixed expenses are fixed expenses. Rent doesn't change, utilities don't change except go up. So that kind of. But that's it, unless there's anything else.
No, I think, thanks for coming in. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. And now that I know I have to do this, I keep my records better. My first year as director, I got the call or an email from Barbara saying, Commissioner's report. What? And I think the last one, that was, well, it would have been reported in 2024 for 2023. The one previous to that was like 2020. So I don't think, or 2019. So I don't think the director just before me was realized it was supposed to be done.
All right. Well, we
So-
appreciate you coming in today.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for
very
your
much.
time, and again, thank you for your continued support.
Thank you for all you do.
11:53, we're gonna go on recess until tomorrow, or next week.